What is going on? I figured I owed you guys a little update. A lot of you guys have been leaving me emails and messages, and I thank everybody for all their well wishes. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm going to be trying to get out here in the garage and get more on a regular schedule. Me and the cats anyway. I've been working on the motor room project I told you guys I was working on. I've got this all painted in here, and got the floor painted on this side. I'll paint this side. You can only do half of the side because all the stuff has to be, you know. But anyway, that's coming. I got these cabinets there from Jimmy put together. Jimmy, really? That's some major assembly, buddy. I about had a heart attack. Good, you know, they were donated, so I didn't mind. I put them together. It took a while for me to figure it out. The directions were sort of vague, but got the cabinets built. Got some nice LED lights to put up, and we have our bench to go here. Probably put these cabinets on both sides of the bench. I need to build another bench for the valve grinding machine, and I got a pegboard to put all the valve stones on, the cutting stones and the pilots. Hang those up really nice, and then we're going to try to put a thing on the wall somewhere in here so we can put all our new parts up and have them where they're nice and clean and not getting dirty. That's the idea of this room. It's sort of dust free in here, being that it's pretty sealed, and I think it'll make it a little nicer to do videos in here once I get the bench set up and all the lights. That way, you know, the videos will be better lighted, and maybe be able to see the stuff we're working on a little better. Got the 2110 over there hiding in the corner. Still not really sure what we're going to do with that. And we took the motor out of the turbo car. Had Terry, one of the YouTubers, VW YouTubers, come down from Jacksonville yesterday, and he brought some heads down. We took those apart, sandblasted them, and they ended up being cracked, so he hung out for a little while and gave me a hand pulling this out and moving some stuff around. So thank you, Terry. It was nice to meet you, and I always appreciate the help. So this looks pretty good. You know, a little piston wear. We use a real short rod, so the pistons, you know, it's moving in the cylinder on this motor. And I think we're going to take this apart. We'll take a look at it. I know the case has got a small crack in it down at the bottom, and one of the webs above where the sump mounts, because when this car leaves, it slams the sump into the ground occasionally, and it has a tendency to crack the case every once in a while. So I've been watching the crack. I bought the case new, and it cracked shortly after I bought it, and you know, I had Scooter look at it. He thought it would be okay, and I've been running it for, well, I've got another 58 passes on it now, so we'll see if the crack's moving, growing, or whatever. And this case might get moved down to the street, and we might put a new case around this crank and rods assembly and put it back in the car, freshen it up. I had somebody ask me about the 344 ring and pinion. Don't know if those are available anymore. I'm going to be taking this tranny apart and inspecting the one that's in here. I got 58 passes on this one, and I was averaging about 25 to 15 runs on the 388s before they would break, and just wasn't having good luck. The car was very aggressive leaving the starting line with the 344. It's got a 278 first and 344 ring and pinion. The car is in the 130s and the 60 foot. And this ring and pinion just calmed the car down a whole lot and made it much more drivable. I don't know if Rancho recommends the 344 for drag racing. I think I had heard tell that they recommend it for off-road use, not for drag racing. I think Scooter bought the 344s from Airco, and I believe they were made by US Gear. Don't know if they're available anymore. I know that there's a little procedure you have to follow before you install it in the tranny. They require to be shot peened and some treatment done to the gear before you install it. But maybe the guys that weren't having good luck were foregoing the shot peening process, you know. That's not something you want to do after you pay a couple $100 to $300 for a ring and pinion, you know, spend another $100 on it to have it shot peened. But I followed directions and did it the way that they recommended, and it worked out really well for me. And A couple of the other guys have used this combination too. It works really good on a turbo car. I don't know if it'd be great for an aspirated car, but it also is a great remedy for a freeway flyer. I mean, you can leave the stack pretty much like it is and just put the 344 in there, and it gives you quite a bit of cruisability. So anyway, it's a super long box in this car, being that it's a turbo car. We don't turn a lot of RPM. It probably goes through the trap right at about 68, 7,000 RPM. Unlike an aspirated car, that would be closer to the 9,800, 10,000 RPM range. So when I used to have the aspirated motor in this car, we used I think we were using a 412 tranny with the same 278 or 276 first gear. I don't know if it's 278 or 276, I can't remember. It's an FTC gear shaft. And with the aspirated motor, we'd leave right about 9,800 and kill the tranny almost all the time. And that's sort of why I got into turbo cars. They leave a little softer and they don't seem to spike the tranny quite as much. So if you are looking for a 344, you can call Eric Ballard. It's called Airco. You'll have to look that up. I don't have his phone number, but that's where we used to get the 344s from. Like I said, I don't know if they're still available. It's been a while, I probably bought that one, geez, maybe 10 years ago now. I don't know if it's been quite that long. Here's a few more components off the drag motor. These are the cylinder heads. These are ARPM. These are predecessors to the Superflows. These were first. These were designed by Dean Lowry, and then I think Bugpack either stole the design or bought it. I'm not sure how that works, but basically remarketed the head and called it a Superflow, and that's what Bugpack used to offer. I guess that head went bye-bye when Bugpack sold out Scat or Empy. I do know that CB Performance has a competition eliminator that is very similar to this design, and that came after the Superflow. We just ported a set of those. I was thinking about maybe putting those on. They're cut for 90.5 instead of 94s, and these are sort of drag racing heads. The combustion chambers are on the small side for a turbo car, but we run a lot of deck height and a lot of barrel spacer, so we can get away with a little small combustion chamber. But I want to take these apart. They got a little thing going on between the seats here. Not sure what that is. Don't know if you can see that, but don't know if there's any material missing or there. These are very rare heads, like I said, so I'm going to go ahead and probably redo these, preserve them, put them up for something, later, and go to the CB Performance heads that we just built. I think they'll be, well, I know they'll perform much better. They have a better spring package on them. They also have a much larger port. They've got hours of port work in them. And these are pretty small. I didn't do a lot of port work. I bought these and didn't really want to destroy the head because of what it was. So I did some deburring in the valve cover area, ported the pocket area, and did a little bit of runner work, but not a whole lot. There's no weld on the head at all. So here's the valve train assembly. Berg push rods with Berg rockers. These are 1.4s. See, everything looks really good on the pads. It's running right in the center of the pad where you want it. And no damage on any of the pads. Everything looked good. I did break an adjuster last time out. That's the only thing I don't like about these rockers. If you're a Magilla Gorilla like me, you seem to over tighten these nuts and it fractures the adjuster and can cause you some issues. I'm hoping that the new Potter rockers I bought on the 2110 are a little more robust, a little more durable, so take a little more abuse when it comes to tightening the nut down. There's the cylinders, just a typical 94. You can see a little bit of rust down in this one from where the car sits too much in this climate. The water sits at the bottom of the cylinder. I always tell you guys that's where it puddles. You can see the top's clean, and that's where you find everything down on the bottom there. The oil sit down there, fuel, anything that's in the ring package will coagulate at the bottom of the hole there. These probably could be replaced, but I'll probably hone them and put them back on. I'm not having any blow-by issues or anything, and I like to try to stick with the ring package as long as I can when it's sealing in the cylinder. So The clutch looks decent. This clutch is very old. I've had this since I was a kid. Still a kid, but you know. There you go. November of 1989. So this is a 2,300 pound pressure plate. There's probably not a lot of people that run these. They're really antique-y. A lot of people don't like them. It's balanced to my assembly though. So is this disc. And when I took this out, I noticed it had a chunk of the ceramic material missing right there. So we're going to have this disc repucked. I think there's a company in Tampa that can repuck this. I'm sure I could buy one, but you can see the hub's been balanced. So I want to sort of try to stay with that if I can, and not have to rebalance the cranking rod and flywheel assembly. So that's where we're at with this. That's the other side of the motor over there. Pretty much looks the same, no issues. It's the 049 head. I had that out showing that to Terry. I think I told you guys Terry came by yesterday, gave me a hand with some stuff. And yeah, what else is going on? Show you the convertible. I made a little progress on this. I've been trying to get a little bit of stuff done, but yeah, Andrea, she didn't let me out too much. Got the floors in here, got the rockers repaired, got the firewall fixed. I gotta spray some paint. I got some red paint to put in here, and we'll paint the floors black, tunnel black. I gotta weld those back pieces in and do a little heater channel repair in the back. That's where we're at on that. This side's still not stripped altogether. And I got this side all in epoxy and ready for body work. Not a lot of body work, just a little bit of rust repair. So yeah, not too bad. But anyway, I did get the Nova and epoxy also. I got this epoxy. Re-epoxied the front clip and I think the door on this side. So we need to get this in some primer. I had somebody ask me a primer question, and I've been using PPG products lately. It's all on what you want, and you know, as far as advice on how to use something, I always say refer to the product sheet. You know, every product has a data sheet with it, and you know, you should probably refer to that. And I had somebody ask me a question. I guess somebody made a video and mentioned me in it, and they were talking about epoxy primer. And I don't really talk about paint stuff much anymore because there's so many opinions. I try to either read right off the can or read right off the instruction or go off the tech manual. And when I used to sell Matrix, I would get guys that, you know, would want to be chemists. And I always try to, you know, tell people the safest bet is just to learn the manual and go by it. And that's what I recommend. But as far as primer goes, it's whatever you're comfortable with. A lot of guys use the slick sand. Some guys don't like that, you know, but it works pretty well. I've been using this guy's primer here. This guy sent me some product, PBX, and it's called Prime is the name of the company. They're online. They sell some you know, some products that are, you know, fairly priced. He's got primer, he's got epoxy primer, he's got clear, he's got 4-to-1 clear, he's got 2-to-1 clear. There's several different companies out there. It's whatever you're comfortable using is what I would tell you to use, depending on what area you're in. You know, find a supplier that you can talk to and tell them what you're doing, and go from there. But I won't be doing a lot of paint videos. I mean, I do have cars to paint, but I'm trying to get away from painting. I painted for a long time, almost 25 years I was a painter, and I did body work for the last 10 years, and I just got out of the habit of painting a lot, you know. I mean, when I first started doing these videos, we did a lot of bumpers and stuff like that, spot repairs, car lot stuff. But as far as all over paint jobs and doing restoration work, I'm not that guy. I don't have the patience to follow the project through. And most of the people that, you know, want their car painted in your garage don't have the budget to restore their car anyway. So, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I think that's one of the cool things about YouTube was, you know, it exposed a lot of guys in their garage to people that actually did it for a living and taught them, you know, the basics so they could do it themselves. And that makes it affordable when you don't have to dish out that labor cost. And the labor is what kills you when you paint a car. You know, you figure any shop's going to be right around, for body labor, $40 to $60 an hour, depending on the shop. And you know, you times that 1,000 hours, whatever it takes to do a car, it gets pretty expensive and people get bent out of shape. So it's much easier to build motors and do mechanical stuff. It's more of a cut and dry, you know, it's not a lot of unknowns when you get into the mechanical side of it. So, and the mechanical side of it's always been my passion. The only reason I ever painted cars or did body work was to pay bills. So I was never like in love with it. But anyway, that's what's going on here. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Thanks again for all the well wishes. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. I hope to meet some of you guys out there on March 8th at Speed World. They're going to have a little Volkswagen get together. We'll run your bug on Friday night. Don't know if we'll have a car together, but I'm going to definitely be there to support the people that go out there and check that out. And maybe meet some of you local guys. So if you guys want to know more about that meet on March 8th, go check out Matt Lundquist's channel. And he'll tell you all about it. And yeah, so I was checking out another VW guy Matt told me about, Jawbreaker. I don't know if it's Jawbreaker all one word. I don't think it's VW Jawbreaker. I just think it's Jawbreaker. But he's a local VW guy, and he does a lot of car show coverage and, you know, different stuff, events that happen. And he's really good with the edit. And he just started making YouTube videos, so check him out. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close this down. I got to get this bench painted before I move it into that room. I started painting it black, but we're going to get a good coat of black, maybe buy a piece of aluminum for the top of it so it doesn't get all scratched up. This has been a really good bench. I bought this Tractor Supply probably about 15 years ago, and it lived most of its life outside at my other house. We had a little farm, and it was out back, you know, do farm stuff on it. And when I got this place, we moved it inside, but it's held up really good for what I paid for it. I don't even think you can buy stuff like this at Tractor Supply anymore. But anyway, we'll get it all painted and put it in there, and we'll get our cabinets mounted, and we'll be in motor building nirvana. So that's what's coming up. I do have the bus motor. Terry helped me get the flywheel off of that yesterday, so I did get that done. I need to get this in the stand. I'm going to go ahead and freshen this up. Don't know if it'll need a line bore or not. We'll see when we get it apart. But I've been seriously thinking about putting an LS motor in the bus. My son moved out a while ago, and he recently sold his 240. We had built an LS motor to put in the 240, and he didn't end up using it. And he's buying a Corvette now, so he doesn't need the LS. And I was talking to him about purchasing that from him and maybe doing an LS bus swap. So that might be coming up. And yeah, so hope everybody's doing good. And the cats are hanging out. It's a beautiful day here in Florida, breezy. One contrail up there, but it's pretty high. It should blow off before it hurts anybody. And yeah, got the Chevy truck out here. Do a little yard work. Trying to start a little yard business there. Got sort of motivated by some of the guys, some of the younger guys on YouTube, killing it in the yard game. So I figured, man, I could cut a couple yards. So I bought a mower, got a trailer, got some equipment, got my truck there, and been trying to kick that around a little bit. I haven't really done anything with it yet, but trying to accumulate everything I need to have a little bit of success in that. So gave a bunch of cats away yesterday. It was a good weekend. Got rid of 4 of them. Anybody needs a nice cat that's fixed, neutered, spayed, ready to go, let me know. Leave a little comment below. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'm running out of stuff to talk about. I hope everybody's doing really good. Been enjoying the videos. Thank you for the content you guys are putting out. I watched a lot of stuff when I was recovering. And yeah, so hopefully in the near future here we'll get that motor room done, and we can you know, produce some better quality videos for you. And I'm going to try to get a computer set up in there so I can, you know, answer questions a little more fluid. And just try to keep up with the channel a little better. I really appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel and being patient with it. And some of you guys have been, you know, with the channel since it started, and it means a lot. So hopefully things will be taking off here. You know, I did try to do some things last year that didn't work out. You know, things don't always work out. All you can do is you know, be open to the offers, and if they don't come to, they don't come to. And sometimes you got to make your own opportunity. So hopefully by building the engine room and, you know, making the videos a little better and trying to answer more questions and getting the community a little more involved, the channel will be a little better for, you know, the people that are watching it. So anyway, that's what's going on, and I'm going to tell you goodbye again for probably the third time. I don't know, this is my specialty. But you guys have a good day, and yep, like the cutworm says, be good to each other. And till the next time, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the channel, and without you subscribers, the channel just doesn't go anywhere.